Welcome to Transitioning into Wholeness. I'm your host, Algerina Pringle. Today we have our special guest, Miss Sally Isaac. We welcome you.
Thank you.
So we're gonna upload these on go to my it's showing. Okay. Yeah. You just send it out where you wanted to send it to, girl.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go on your page and do it.
Okay. Well, today we're gonna be discussing going through a loss while grieving gracefully. Welcome to Transition into Wholeness, Miss Sally. I'm going to honor you. I'm honored to have you here with us this evening to talk about a touching story. But before we get started, I would like to extend my condolences to you and your family once again.
Thank you, ma'am.
So I'm going to allow you to tell us about yourself, your organization, and how the people can connect with you.
Okay. So as she said, I am Sally D. Isaac. Um, I'm 40 years old. Um, I'm a wife, a mom of five. We had two 19-year-olds, a 17-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 3-year-old. And no, we don't have twins. We are a blended family. Our three oldest ones are from a previous relationship. And the oldest son that I birthed, he was 19 at the time. And because of the loss of him, um, Grieving Gracefully was birthed. Um, Grieving Gracefully was birthed while talking to one of my mentors, and we was trying to figure out. She wanted me to tell my story, and she wanted me to tell my story and talk about how our products help help me get through this process of grieving the loss of my oldest son. And so that's how we came up with Grieving Gracefully, and then the revelations that God has given me as I continue to go through this process. That's what I normally talk about when I go on there. I go in my prayer closet and I go to God, and He give me whatever word He give me to go to the people. I go live Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, Eastern Standard Time at 6 p.m. I go live on Facebook, and I also go live on TikTok as well.
What's your TikTok information?
Well, all my handles the same, Sally D. Isaac.
Okay,
Y'all
y'all
the
go
same.
follow her and listen to her incredible story. So,
Okay.
yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started.
I don't
We're
see
gonna
the
be
bot.
talking about grief. So, grief is an anguish experience after a significant loss. Grief is a natural human response. It can show up in many ways. Grief moves in and out of stages from disbelief and denial to anger and guilt. Did you find yourself going through any of these stages?
Um, you said guilt?
Yeah,
Yeah,
did you have like anger, guilt? You was in disbelief, in denial,
yeah, I went through all of them.
all of them.
I went through all of them.
What helped you get move past it?
Um, God, honestly,
I don't know.
um, because I already had a relationship with him,
Hmm.
I think that's why people see it's a different way for me to grieve. Because out the gate, as soon as this happened, the way I handled everything was different than what everybody was used to. And before this happened, like a year, almost yeah, almost a year, I had just started. I came upon this ministry, and I followed this prophet, and I started fasting and praying because at
Hmm.
the time I wanted to learn about fasting. And like we talk about it, but we don't really talk really about
Right.
what it is and what you do like in depth. And she really helped me understand what it meant to pray and fast. And so before all this happened, I was praying and fasting, so I felt like God was preparing me for
Tell
this.
me.
Like
Yes.
after this happened, it's like He was preparing me for this. So and in I think earlier that year in 2022, because we lost our oldest son December 28th, 2022, I made a vow to God that I will worship before I worry.
Mm.
So with me making that vow, I had already started, like, people didn't know he was sneaking out of the house. So he was sneaking out of the house a year before this even happened. A year before he got in trouble, he would sneak out of the house on the weekends. And it got to the point when I'm like, Lord, I need you to do something, because I shouldn't have to lay hands on my child for my child to listen to me. I'm giving him back to you. And so
Right.
after I did that, I turned on my worship music and I just be around the house and I be singing all the time and I just go into worship. So when this happened, that's all I knew to do,
Ooh,
because I've already trained myself when something happened to worship. That's exactly what I did. So
mm.
because I made that vow to God, that's what helped me. One of the things that helped me get through um, the process of grieving. And
And
what
so often, God prepares us so well, so
mm-hmm.
well. And because we don't know exactly what He's preparing us for,
Right.
we miss it.
Mm-hmm.
But because you were aligned the way you were supposed to be aligned, it didn't affect you to how everybody expected for it to affect you.
Right.
That's amazing. That is because girl, I have two sons of my own. And when I say they keep you on your toes,
Girl.
keep you on your toes.
Yes.
You had to be like everywhere. But I'm gonna
Mm.
let you go into your testimony, tell us the story, and then we'll move right on.
Um. So, okay, I told you a little bit before, like what happened before. So, on my birthday, October 29th, 2022, he left the house again without permission. And when he left the house, I didn't know he got in trouble. He was following up one of his friends. Like, I saw him leave the house, and I told him, like, you don't got permission to leave. He still decided to leave anyway. And then on Sunday, I get a knock at my door. It just so happened that Sunday we didn't go to church. Our church went out of town or something. I don't know, but we just didn't go to church that Sunday. And I got a knock at my door. So I've gotten a knock at my door from the police before, but they don't ever be looking for my house. So when they come there, I'm like, what y'all doing here? Because there should be no reason why y'all here.
Mhm.
And they was like, well, we're looking for Jaden Hale. And I'm like, who? And they were like, we're looking for Jaden Hale. And I was like, well, he's not here. He's with my mom. So I'm calling him, trying to figure out, where he at or whatever. He's not answering the phone. I call my mama. She had already left to go to work. And she was like, well, I left him at the house. He was asleep. I said, okay, cool. And the police was like, well, let's go over there. So I had to get the young kids ready. Um, and get them ready to go to my mom's house. He wasn't there. Then, so eventually he turned himself in on November the 1st. Now, this was his first time um, being in trouble with the law on my birthday. That was his first time. We left him in there for a week because in our eyes,
So
we're
before we get to him in trouble with the law, what you think before he started getting in trouble with the law? What age was he?
17.
So 17 years, he never been in trouble with the law. So what you think it led him to start going that way? Before he got that way, what type of child he was? He wasn't the one to go messing with nobody, thinking he's above the law.
Um, it was 20, 20, 2021. Yeah, it was after the homeschool, after homeschooling, when they let the kids out for that year, because God brought me home from my job. I used to be a paralegal for 10 years, and God brought me home 2020 when I was 6 months pregnant with our last child. And then they shut the world down. The next year, all of a sudden, he's like, Mom, I don't want to play basketball no more. And I'm like, hold up, what? What do you mean you don't want to play basketball? Like, this is all he ever talked about. He wanted to play basketball since he was 5. We had him in park and rec. He was playing basketball. He went from park and rec to AAU ball. He was playing basketball in middle school. He was playing basketball in high school. Like I knew he was gonna get a scholarship. Like I knew he was gonna get a scholarship. He was 6'2", and he was good. So I knew he was getting a scholarship. So when he came to me 10th grade and was like, "Yeah, Mom, I don't want to play basketball no more," I was like, "Something ain't right." So now I'm starting to think like, who you hang around? Because like I know his friends, and I'm like, it can't be the friends that I know that he's growing up with. That because we know I know all his friends. I know their parents. So I'm like, I know it ain't the same kids that he growing up with. Like I'm like, it got to be some new friends. It got to be some new friends. And then when that happened, I went to the school and I talked to his guidance counselor. And I'm like, I noticed that he no longer wants to play basketball. I'm like, and I see a change in him. So I don't know if y'all are seeing a change in him as well. Because I went to the teachers to talk about his grades. Um, and then next thing you know, that's when the sneaking out of the house started. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I'm that parent. If you're not doing good in school, I'm gonna take you off the basketball team. Right. So that's what I did. 9th grade, I took him off the team, and then 10th grade, well, then they shut the school down. So I guess between 10th and 11th grade, that's when that's when it started.
All this was during the beginning of COVID.
After COVID. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Wow. Mm-hmm. So he was doing everything he was supposed to do until perhaps he run into the wrong crowd.
Actually, it ain't even after everything is said and done. It was the same kids he grew up with.
Wow.
So it's like I didn't see there was. Now he still hung around those same friends, but there may have been some outside friends that had some influence on his core set of friends that I don't know about. Yeah. Right. So it may be somebody out there that had a connection to his core set of friends as well that I don't know about. I don't, but I know when he got in trouble, it was with a childhood friend.
Okay. So you said when the police came knocking to your mom's house. Go ahead, you can finish from there.
They went to my mom's house. He wasn't there. He was telling us he was here and there and everywhere, except for where he was supposed to be. He kept telling me, "Oh, I'm coming. I'm going to get something to eat. I'm coming. I'm coming." Then the police is like, "Well, if he don't show up by in the morning, we're going to post it on social media." And I'm like, he cares about his image. So I was like, boy, I'm like, you ain't want your face, plastered all over it. I ain't heard from him until November the 1st. Because when it came out on social media, I'm like, armed and dangerous. What in the world? I look at my husband, I say, you better go tell your friend that they better not kill my baby. I say, I need him to make sure that they don't kill my baby. Because when he talk about armed and dangerous with my child, I know my child. My child is armed and dangerous. And he was like, he reached out to his friend. His friend came and got him and said, if he turned himself in, then I will come and get him. And so November 1st, he turned himself in. And we left him in there. Me and his dad talked. And me and my husband talked. And we decided to leave him in there for a week. We said we was going to teach him a lesson.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I agree with that. Because a lot of times when your child get in trouble, we be so quick to save them and rescue them. And I know because it's that mother instinct. You just want to grab them and let them know it's going to be okay. But on the flip side, sometimes you got to show that tough love. Especially in today's age, it's just like, it's totally different from how we was growing up.
Right. Even though we did that, unbeknownst to me, he still got in trouble right after he got out. So whatever he did happened right after he got out. But they didn't come and get him until a week after his 18th birthday, because his birthday is December 21st. And they came to our house December 28th.
So when he got in trouble for that second time after y'all got him out, how
Mm-hmm.
did that make you feel as a mother trying your best?
I was shocked. I was like, because I was never the parent that defend him so like blindly defend. Like I never was that parent because I always told him, I'm like, I know the law. I'm a paralegal. I've been a paralegal for 10 years. You don't want to get caught up in the system. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
I will never lie for you. I said, do you hear me? I would never lie for you. I always told him, do not get in trouble because if you ever get in trouble, I promise you, I'm going to turn you in because I've already warned you that you're
Mm-hmm.
not about this life. My husband has warned you, you're not about this life. Your daddy has warned you, you're not about like it's not
Right.
that he doesn't know, but whoever had the outside world had a stronger influence than we
Yeah.
had.
And that's the case because, like I said, I have two boys myself. They out and out and gone, but that's just one of the things you just don't want to see, especially you brought them up the right way.
Right.
You talk to them daily, y'all talking about, thriving in the world and stuff. And then all of a sudden you get that phone call. I know because it happened to me. You get that phone call, that
Mhm.
unexpected phone call, like, what in the world? You got the right person. This can't be.
Right.
That got to be the wrong person because that ain't my child.
Right.
But somehow we missed it.
Mhm.
How we missed it. And a lot of times when they out here doing the things, it's not what they taught at home.
Right.
And sometimes it is not, but you can tell
Mhm.
because they correct it immediately. And one thing about me, when my son got in trouble, he came to me and he told me he knew why it had to happen the way it had to happen.
Mm.
And that was just like the biggest relief for me that he got the lesson behind it. Because
Mhm.
I agree, they got to go through their own stuff. And a lot of
Right.
stuff we try to, as parents, because we love and we care, especially as a mother, we try
Right.
to protect them from it.
Right.
And I'm beginning to realize and know now that it's their life and their story. They're going to have to go through some stuff. Some stuff we can't protect them out. And
Right.
I believe one of my lessons for him when he went through that, because it was a lesson for me also, because I'm a control freak. I like to be
Me.
in control of everything.
Right. Me too.
And at that one moment, it ain't nothing I could have do about it. Not nothing.
Right.
But go ahead.
Um. So it was a normal day. They was out for Christmas break. Well, at that time, he because of what happened, the previous thing that happened, he couldn't go to his home school. So I ended up getting him into Sumter Academy. He ended up going to Sumter Academy because he could no longer go to his home school because whatever him and his friend did, it happened with a student at the school. So got him in Sumter Academy. Like he was even gonna graduate early. The guy was like, "You can come here. You don't even need that many classes. You can just come, take the classes, and your mama can come and pick you right back up. So
Mm,
you only gotta be here for a couple hours, and then you can leave." School winter break came. They was out. Um, he was on. He did get on an ankle monitor for the first charge that he got. So um we was home. He was washing dishes. I was sitting in the den with the baby. My daughter was in her room or in the bathroom. She was at that time. I think she was in the bathroom, and I was sitting on the chair in a training with my business partners and sitting on the chair with the baby. And then I hear a knock at the door, and he's like, "Mom, who is that?" I'm like, "I don't know." And he was like, "Well, you get the door." So he's still at the kitchen washing dishes. I went to the door, and the guy was like I'm looking at an officer standing like on this side of me, and then I'm looking at officers in front of me, right?
mm-hmm.
And they're like, um, I'm looking for Jaden Hill, and I said, "Who?" And they said, "We looking for Jaden Hill. There was a shooting," and I'm still like, "What?" And they was like, "But no one, like, no, not nobody is hurt." And I'm like, "What?" And then, like, while I'm trying to ask, like, "What now?" And while I'm trying to talk to this officer that is the closest to me,
Mm-hmm.
the officer in front of me said, "Was that a gunshot?" And I was like, because to me, it didn't sound like a gunshot. To me, it just sounded like a popping sound. It didn't sound like a pow, you know?
Mm.
It just sounded like a popping sound to me. So when he said, "Was that a gunshot?" I immediately ran to my sunroom because I remember while I'm asking them, like, what you talk about, I can remember him walking out my peripheral
Mm-hmm.
towards his room behind
Mm-hmm.
me. And he was already gone.
Mm.
Like I don't at this point, I don't even know where the kids at. So I
Mm.
don't know what they saw because the baby, I know he was at the door with me. And then I ran. I didn't even go in his room. I never touched him. I just stood outside his room and because his eyes was open and he was facing me, looking at me. And I knew he was gone. Like he was just gone. And
Mm.
I went back to the door and the officers they're coming in the house and they're like, get out, shots fired, shots fired. And I'm like, he already gone. Like I don't know what y'all about to do, but he's already gone. And so I went outside and then I guess that's when reality clicked in and I don't even curse, but at this moment I'm cursing and I'm what what happened? Like, why would he do this? What in the like I'm just I'm mad, I'm punching the ground. My now at this time my daughter she heard me screaming outside so she came over and she trying to figure out what's going on with me. And then I got up and I talked to the officer and I was like, what now, what did you say happened? He said there was a shooting, man, but nobody got hurt. And I'm like, what? And then my neighbor he came and he was like, he asking me what's going on and I'm talking to him because my husband had just left the house so it's just me home with the kids.
Mm.
um so then I had to do the hardest thing I ever had to do in my
Mm.
life, which is call everybody.
Mm.
So I don't have my phone. I'm outside. Like it's winter. It's December in South Carolina. It'd
Mhm.
be in between the hot and cold. But at
Right.
that time it was kind of cold, and me and the kids outside with no coat on, no shoes on, and they wouldn't let us back in the house. So I asked the officer was like, "Do you want to call anybody? Is there anyone you want to call?" So now I'm having to remember numbers. So the
Mm.
first person I called was his dad because his dad lived not even 5 minutes from us. And so I had to call his daddy and tell his daddy to come here. And then I had to call my husband and tell my husband to come. And then it's like I'm just calling, like I call my mama, I call my niece. I think those are the only four people I could think to call. Everybody
Mhm.
else, it was word of mouth who found out and came to us. But those are the four people that I can remember calling um,
Mhm.
during that time. And I mean, I was just in shock. I mean, but even though I was in shock, the same way I'm talking to you now is the same
Mhm.
way I was talking to people the day of.
And that's because of what God prepared you for.
Right.
So you knew something was coming.
Mm,
You probably don't know what extent.
no, honestly, let me back up. When I with me fasting and praying, well, in a company that I was in before, they always used to say, what's your word for the year, right? Like
Mhm.
it'd be one word that's talking about your whole year.
Mhm.
So when I was fasting and praying, I prayed to God for three things.
Mhm.
And I asked God for a complete turnaround for my son,
Mm.
to restore my marriage,
Mm.
and for a new home. Those were the three things because we may not outgrow the home we're in. And I'm like, those are the three things that I prayed for. So I'm still fasting and praying every single month, asking God.
Mm.
Because I'm like, okay, like, all right, Lord, like November, even though he got in trouble, but I'm like, okay, Lord, the year ain't up yet. You already
Mm.
told me this gonna happen. Like, what's going on? It ain't happened yet. And then I asked God to restore his smile. And I did start seeing his smile come back. And after he got in trouble the first time, he was being more respectful at home, like he was listening and stuff like that.
Mm.
And then December he got in trouble, like he started sneaking out again. I'm like, how you sneaking out of the house with an ankle bracelet on? You know? So then when this happened, I'm like, now Lord, I asked for a complete turnaround. I ain't asked you to completely come around and get him and come back up there. I said, that wasn't what I
Ooh,
asked for, Lord. That is
ooh.
not what I asked you for.
But you know,
God
his
came to
turnaround is
me,
different from our turnaround.
right. And God came to me and said, but you asked for my help.
Mm,
Because sometimes we will ask God for help, not
mm.
knowing what kind of help he gonna get.
Ah,
Because the revelation he gave me was, it's just like when, like, single moms, they got an uncle or a brother that they go to about their son, and they want their uncle or their brother to take their child in and show them how to be a man. So
mm-hmm.
God stepped in because this was the only thing that was going to save him.
Mm.
So he had to save him from himself.
Save him from himself.
Mhm,
Mm, mm.
mhm.
Wow. So, what has been the most comforting thing you've experienced since your loss?
Comforting. He restored my marriage.
Mm,
Because with a blended family, like, even though my husband was in Jaden life since Jaden was like 8 or 9, they still battled. Like, and I could never understand why they battled so. And I was like, he was in your life for all this, like he do all this stuff for you. And I never understood why. And because they conflicted, me and him conflicted.
mm,
And my cousin, they had her church in Columbia was having a marriage brunch, and I saw it come across Facebook, and I had already told my husband, I was like, I want to go to this. And just so happened, like a couple days before it, like I ain't even I told him I wanted to go, and then I left it at that. And then a couple days before, she was like, hey, I got 2 tickets for the brunch. And I'm like, you sure? And she was like, yeah. So we went.
mm.
And when we went, it's like, we was talking about, marriage, in the Bible and stuff like that. And then she had us like say our vows all over again. And in one moment, she had us like, it was I don't even know the name of the song, but it was a song she had playing, and she wanted us to hold each other the whole time that song played. So we
Mm.
had to hug each other. And in that, he said, like, I just broke down. Like, I just broke down. Because even though I grieve different than people, I still, have my moments.
Right, right.
And I boo-hoo cried. And in that moment, God said, I had to take your son so that I could restore your marriage.
Mm.
And that made me just cry even harder. Because it's like,
Why you had to give up something for something else?
right. Because we always thinking about stuff, like we always think about how we want stuff to go,
Right.
and God always say it's not about our will, it's
It's
all
that
about his will be done.
it's that sacrifice. It's that sacrifice. And what we willing to sacrifice, we're like, here, you can have this, here you can have that.
Hmm.
But God says, no, he want that.
Right.
So he can give you this.
Right. Because I never thought this would be my testimony. I always be like, yeah, Jaden gonna have this amazing testimony. He gonna tell these kids in Sumter, because you know how, like, right now Sumter is like, whew. So I was like, yeah, Jaden is gonna show the kids, like, because he's well known. So I was like, yeah, they're gonna see how he got saved. He turned his life
Mm-hmm.
around. He got his college scholarship to the college he wanted to go to, because he wanted to go play at Duke University. I was
Mm-hmm.
like he was going to have this testimony. And then
Right.
Lord was like,
Mm-mm.
no,
And
you
that's a
gonna
lot
have
of
a
times because
different testimony.
a lot of times okay, Nisi, we want everything to go good, go this way. But sometimes God do show us the bad side to us, the bad side, because we don't see the good in it. He
Right.
knows the good, he knows the outcome.
Hmm.
But we always seeing the good part.
Right.
We don't want to face none of, okay, if this happens, am I ready for
Hmm.
this and what's going to happen with that?
Right.
So when that
And
time comes and it's the opposite, just like in your situation,
hmm
how do you handle it?
right. And that's what I tell people. That's why I'm here. That's why God got me telling my story, because I'm showing people a different side of grieving, because a lot of people, whenever they don't get the answer that they pray for from God, they shun God. They turn their
Mhm.
back on God. Now, I ain't going to say when this first happened, I mean, I still, I never shunned him, but it took a minute for me to get back into my prayer life, because I used to get up at 5 o'clock every single morning before everybody got up, and I would spend time with God. And it took me a minute. I'm gonna say a month. It took me a month, because it wasn't that long, because I had to get back to Jesus. But it took me like a month, maybe a little over a month, to really get back into the habit of sitting in prayer and sitting in and being in that alone time. Because when I when I sit and pray with him, it's like he give me all these revelations
Mhm.
about what it is that I'm dealing with. And the first thing he did when I started back praying is he had me to forgive people.
Mm. Of course.
And um I did not want to forgive. Like, I really did not want to.
Okay, so when you say forgive people, was you included in the people?
Oh, of course.
Yes.
Like, I tell people it was as if I lost my son all over again with me forgiving people. Like, I had to forgive everybody that was connected to him. I had to forgive myself. I had to even forgive my son, because I felt like he abandoned me. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I
Yes.
would be here for you through thick and thin,
Right.
and you couldn't handle the situation you put yourself in, so you decided to take your life.
Yeah. That's a hard pill. That's a hard pill.
Mm-hmm.
But God, and grace,
it
grace,
was it
grace.
was a it was a hard pill to swallow.
Mm-hmm.
But like I tell people, like, I show people the different way to grieve, and because I go to God first with the way I grieve, like, when I was grieving, well,
Mm-hmm.
let me I when this first started happening, like, I got a lot of inboxes from people who lost their kids, and they was like, oh, you're going to do this, and this is going to happen, and you're going to feel this. And I was like, how y'all figure that? God ain't tell me I was going to feel that. So how you figure I'm going to break down? How you figure I'm about to fall apart? And that wasn't me. Like, people be like, yeah, you be want to say, why, God? Why this happened to me? Why
Mm-hmm.
me? And the time that I actually tried to be like, Lord, what? He
You
said,
shut your mouth.
well, it happened to me. So
Mm.
I lost my child. I gave
Mm.
my child to you so that
Yeah.
I could save y'all from your sins. So I
Yes.
know how you feel. And I was like, okay, Lord, okay, I see you. Okay. All right. Because I mean,
Mm.
every time I guess I try to let the world come into where God got me, because God has me in a peace bubble. And if I ever
Mm.
step foot out of that peace bubble to feel what the world tells me
Yeah.
I should be
Yeah.
feeling,
Yes.
then it's like I'm out of alignment with God. So I try to stay in that bubble, because I tell people, I'll be looking at my phone and I'm like, oh, Jaden. As much as I want to, my flesh want to
Mm-hmm.
feel sad,
Mm-hmm.
God don't allow me to feel it. So
That's
I
amazing.
so I'm like, grief is unexplained. I can't explain it. I'm like, it's hard for me to explain it. I'm like, the only thing I can tell you is God has me in a peace bubble. He has
That's
gifted
amazing.
me. I tell people he has gifted me with strength
Ah,
so that
yes.
I can show people how you don't have to throw God away to grieve. You don't have to throw God away whenever something bad happens, because it don't even have to be grief. Anything that you go through, you don't
Yeah.
have to throw God away if he doesn't answer your prayer the way that he wanted you to answer it.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you say you're grieving gracefully, grace is a unmerited favor of God towards man.
Right.
God give us grace as a gift. All we have to do is ask for it.
Right.
And sometimes he give it to us, but we also must be willing to receive it.
Mm-hmm.
What allowed you to receive God's grace and move forward with your life?
Um, I don't really think that I've done anything really besides believe in him.
Yeah. And that's enough.
um,
Trust
right,
him. Trust,
right,
that's all he
like
wants us to do is trust him.
right, and that's
Through
what I did.
everything,
Mm-hmm.
even the hard times.
Right,
That's where we got to trust him and lean onto him.
right. Through this, that's all I could do was fully like I had to fully. That's why I say I fast all the time because I constantly got to kill my flesh so that I would not stay stuck and be of the world.
Mhm.
Because
Mm.
last year, I was with my friends, right? And me and my friends, we made this pact, and we was like, "Yep, we are like we're gonna celebrate everybody's birthday. We're gonna be doing stuff." And so that's what we did. We started going out of town. We was traveling. We was going out to eat. Like we done made all these plans and stuff like that. And I was like, "Yeah." What was the key word at the phrase everybody was saying after COVID? I'm gonna be outside. Yeah, that's what I said. I said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna be outside." And God said, "Uh." He let me be outside from January to June. And in June, we went on a boat trip. And God tell me, And I know that was me trying to get back the old Sally. Because
Mm.
I wanted to be the person who I was before all of
All
this
this
happened.
happened. Yeah. That person had to die.
Right. And
That
God,
person had to die too.
right. And
Ha.
God tell me, no, all things are made new.
New. Yep.
So I was like, well, no. All right. Okay. So that's when I had to scale it back
Hmm.
with my friends. And Grieving Gracefully was birth, what, November, I think? November or December of 2023.
So what exactly is grieving graceful?
It's showing people how, like I said previously, how there's another way to grieve. You don't have to be falling out, boo hooing. You don't have to curse God. You can fully and truly trust God and all of His word that He is going to give you peace that surpasses all understanding.
That's just what
And
Tiffany, one of our comments was Tiffany. She said literally your peace that surpasses all understanding is exemplified.
mm-hmm, yep,
But in order to have that,
mm-hmm,
you must be aligned with God.
right.
So everybody ain't privileged to that. And like
No,
you said, before all of this even happened,
mm-hmm,
you was getting in alignment where you needed to be in preparation for this time.
right.
So you was well prepared and you listened and you did what you had to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, had you not listened and had you not been, your whole process would have been different.
Right. My remember I told you previously, in a previous company, um, we always said go to God for a word.
Mm-hmm.
And my word for last year was obedience.
Mm. Mm.
So I was really focused on being obedient because I know it's not that I we always know Christ, but it's
Mm-hmm.
like being intentional with my
Mm.
relationship with
Yes,
him. And so with me
that
being
part.
intentional, I wanted to be obedient. So I did what I made sure like I studied the word. Like I was, we say we read the Bible. Well, do we
Mm, that
really?
part. A lot
And
of say,
so
a lot of us, a lot of everything, a lot. That's just that whole part. Because
mm,
we say, but we ain't doing. And
mm,
when we are doing, we're not being effective.
right.
And that was one of my big words. Lord, teach me how to be effective in what I do.
Mm-hmm.
So everything I do, I try my best to be
Right.
effective in it, not just do it. Because that's wasting my time and whoever else time I'm with.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's good.
And here we are.
That's good. Grieving gracefully. And you show grieving gracefully, I must say. How does how has this loss changed the perspective of your everyday moments in life?
Mm, I feel like I love on my kids more
Mhm.
um, because of this, and I try to be more attentive, and then I look. I don't know. There is a little piece of me that's afraid of I guess having the same mistakes because
Mm,
I try to think back of how because when I told you I forgave myself,
mhm,
I had to forgive myself because I thought I was a bad mom,
mhm,
even though I already had people telling me I wasn't a bad mom and I did everything that I could.
mhm.
But there is a little piece of me because I do have a young son that I pray that this doesn't happen again. Like I had to do a lot of rebuking and casting out because I was like, suicide will end here.
Right,
It would not stay on our bloodline. We would
right.
not lose another child or a family member to um, suicide. It won't happen because I lost my dad.
Did that happen previous suicide in your family?
Mm-mm,
No.
mm-mm. But I did lose my dad. He was murdered when I was 4. So I
Mm,
was trying to think, like, why did I lose two close people in my life to gun violence, to
mm.
guns? Well, to guns. God ain't give me a revelation on that one yet. I'm still waiting on why the two men that was closest to me, why did I have to um, lose them?
So, how old is your other son?
He's 3.
He's getting started. So you're gonna find yourself, not even with your son, even with your daughters, just being more, like you said earlier, attentive. Like I
Mm-hmm.
know when my son was teenagers, child, I used to watch every every move, and he used to be like, "Why you all in my business, child? You ain't got no business." Because I
Right,
will. I mean, every move he feel like they couldn't do nothing. And they used to talk. They talk about me now since they older. You know, they older. They go back and talk about
right.
how strict I was. But as you get older, you realize and you see now.
Like that's how we was. Like I mean, we were strict. Like they used to be like, Jaden, you know how your mom is. Why are you doing it? Like we were so strict. He ain't had no door on his room. You ain't got no
Mm,
business. You ain't got no business. Like he know. Like I used to go through his phone. So like, and that's where we used to bump heads too. He didn't want me. I was so strict, and I used to stay in his business. And I tell parents now, I don't. Even
stay.
though my story ended the way it did, don't mean your story have to end the way it did. Don't stay in your kids' business,
Yes.
especially with how it is now. It seems like it's getting worse and worse. I feel like there's a spirit over
Mm-hmm.
Sumter County that has a
Mm-hmm.
hold on our young men,
Definitely.
and I will continue to pray
Mm-hmm.
that it releases our
Mm-hmm.
young men.
And just because you bring that up at this moment, we ain't done yet, but at this moment, I just
Mhm.
want you to say a prayer to cover our children in whole.
Okay. Father, in the name of Jesus, I pray that you cover every young man, every young boy, even our young women, Lord, in our community, Lord, in our state, Lord. You
Mm-hmm.
see that the conflicts they're having a battle, Lord. They're having a battle between good and evil, Lord. And we know that in your word, you said that you will cover us, Lord. Lord, I pray Psalm 91 over Sumter County and over our men, Lord. I pray Sumter County over our young men. I pray Sumter County over our school system, Lord. I pray Psalm 91 over our leaders, over our police officers, Lord. I pray that we have men that rise up in our community, that take hold of our young men, Lord, and lead them in the right direction when they see them running astray, Lord. I pray that you continue to protect them and cover them in your mighty and matchless name, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Yes, Lord. Amen. Child, this is a tough one. And we just got to keep fighting for our children.
Yes, ma'am.
We can't give up on them. No matter how tough it get,
Mm-hmm.
no matter how rough it get, we just got to keep fighting for them.
Yes.
So during this process of staying in your child's business, making sure you inspire, encourage them to do their best, but all that prevails. How would you encourage that mother going through to keep their child aligned and focus on the prize and not going astray?
Mm, I'm going to say pray and keep them covered. Because as parents, we can do all we can.
Oh, yeah.
Continue to lead them in the direction of God, as the Bible say. You know, they will stray, but they will come back. Continue to pray over them, touch them, bring them to church. Like, I can't use my story as an example
Mm-hmm.
to your kids. I tell people, let your kids hear my story,
Mm-hmm.
even though it sounds bad, and even though they may not want to hear that somebody took their life, let them hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm learning that even though we got small kids, they smarter than what we think.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, we lost my husband lost his mother, and we haven't told our daughter, even though she was around it. Like, she was at the hospital when we pulled the plug. We didn't tell her nothing. We told her a couple days later,
Mm-hmm.
and when we sat her down to tell her, she said, well, why y'all just not telling me?
Child, these kids be knowing
And
now.
that, like, this before her birthday was Friday, so we told her this like Tuesday. She was still 6, and
Mm-hmm.
she said, well, why y'all just not telling me?
Child, these kids be knowing.
Right.
We
So
we don't want to sit back acting like we trying to hide something. They be
right,
knowing. So you
right.
might as well to put it out, let them know, let them teach,
Mhm.
give them a lesson on it, and
Right.
move forward.
Mhm.
So how did it affect your younger kids when the incident happened? When they was in the house and saw, their sibling, their older brother.
They did. I don't think that they saw the baby. Kind of make me think he saw. Now, he acts shy, but if you really get to know him, he talks a mile a minute, and he would come to me and be like, "Mommy, why Jaden shoot himself?"
Mm,
I was like, "Did he see?" Because I'm like, in that moment, I don't know. I don't know what he saw,
mm-hmm,
and like the questions he was asking me, I'm like, "Did he see, Lord? He only 2. How you know these
mm,
things?" Because this one, he was asking me these things before he turned 3, and he turned 3 in October. So he was asking me these things. I'm like, and they constantly ask for him. Now they don't really ask for him as much because they know he's up there with the Lord.
mm-hmm,
My daughter, she never saw him. She was in the bathroom on her tablet. So
mm-hmm,
she didn't even hit a gunshot. She on her tablet. So she heard me screaming outside and ran outside. She never saw him.
mm-hmm.
So only thing she knows, like, Mommy, why you even got there crying like a baby? Mommy, get off the ground. You're crying like a baby. Cause she don't know.
Right.
At the time she was 5 when it happened. She was 5 at the time. So they miss their brother at times. She does have her moments. The baby, he's still, a little young. But her, like, that was her. That was her when she gets scared in the middle of the night to go run to his bed.
Oh.
Like, that was her best friend. She used to call him her boyfriend. 'Cause he was
Mm-hmm.
like, "You not having no boyfriends," and she was like, "My brother Jaden is my boyfriend," because he
Oh.
always told her you're not having a, like. She still to this day said that he's her boyfriend.
Oh.
So she misses him. And
Mm-hmm.
I try to, keep his, I keep his pictures around, all his old books from when he was her age. She has all his books, like that.
Speaking
And
of
she,
picture, we're gonna show a picture of Mr. Jalen. This
hmm
is her beloved son.
yep, that was cheating.
That was Jalen, y'all.
Was this on? This was right before Christmas. Yep, a couple days before this happened.
Oh wow,
hmm
that's Jalen.
Yeah, a senior in high school, just turned 18.
18 years old.
Yep, my twin.
He is.
hmm
Definitely look like you. So do you feel that there should be some type of support group that you feel is missing in our community for the youth in general?
mm, I do, cause I know at the time when I noticed his him not wanting to play basketball anymore, like I reached out to his coaches, his AAU coaches, for them to talk to him, because one of his coaches, was his coach since he was like 6 or 7. So I reached out to him for him to talk to him. I reached out to another one of his coaches, and the thing is, like he stayed in contact with his coaches, and then I reached out and I asked, was there any mentoring programs,
Mm,
and that we didn't have. And the one that they said that they had, when I reached out, they never reached back.
mm,
But since then, some of my classmates, they did start a mentoring program called Four Brothers.
okay. And
Um, that they do a mentoring program for the youth.
and I just recently started one transition to wholeness youth leadership development program.
Okay.
Um, where I'll be teaching them basic life skills,
Mm-hmm.
stuff they don't teach us in school,
Right.
finances, being that safe place, that person
Mm-hmm.
they need to talk to, lead them and guide them, so they can continue to dream. As kids, we have big, big dreams, and
Right.
as life goes on, we allow life to diminish our dreams, but
Mm-hmm.
it shouldn't be the case. So we got
Right.
to keep our children, remind them that their dreams can happen. Dreams do come true. They just got to stay focused on them and don't let them dim down for nobody or no circumstances.
Right.
So when the kids believe in stuff we don't believe in, let them believe. Don't kill them.
Mm-hmm.
Don't kill their belief because it's something you don't get 50 years old and you ain't believing about it no more.
Right.
It's the whole concept. It ain't about what it is. It's the whole
Mm-hmm.
concept
Right.
of their mind being opened up. So yeah, but I enjoyed you tonight. I'm glad you was willing to share your testimony with us on tonight. That was a very, very. I'm glad God gave you the grace. I'm glad God has given you peace.
Thank you.
And like you say, you in a peace bubble, and I can see that bubble all over you. Don't let nothing or nobody pop that bubble. You stay
Mm-hmm.
aligned like God has ordered you to. Continue to walk in obedience, and your whole life is gonna shine.
Thank you, ma'am.
Your whole life is gonna shine. Anything else you want to say to the people tonight before we?
No, ma'am. No.
You want to end in any special way?
Uh,
She
nope.
said, no.
I've said everything I came to say.
Everything. Yes, Lord.
Mhm.
Well, we're glad for you letting the Lord use you how He used you. And again, I'm so proud to have you. We'll be contacting you again to come spend some time with us.
Okay.
As you go on these big stages, I'm gonna have a stage myself, so I'll be calling you in person, y'all. In person, on stage. It's being set up, it's being prepped as we speak.
Yes, ma'am.
Tiffany says, so very powerful. Thank
Thank you.
every one of you all for joining us tonight.
Love you too, Ibs. Love you too, Nikki.
We'll see y'all next time on Transitioning into Wholeness.